Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these coins then, shall we? And a bit of a market overview as well. I have to say things are looking quite good. I was eyeing up a few more altcoins for some scalpy little trades really. Zcash being my favourite so far, but there are quite a lot to choose from. Now, before you all start FOMOing in, what I am doing here is not FOMOing, absolutely not. It's absolutely not FOMOing, so just let me put that to you now. If you're a member of the Telegram or even on Patreon, you'll be more than aware of my overcautiousness of the market. As Bitcoin continues to run up higher and higher and higher, currently it's sitting sideways, which is actually good, giving these altcoins a little bit of breathing space to catch up. We also have this chart here, the dominance chart, which we've been looking at, I suppose, for the last week, working out whether it wants to be rejected from this area or break out from this area. Either direction has big implications as to what's going to happen to altcoins or the market in general. And at the moment, it's still going back down, so indicating that maybe a small rejection from this descending trend line is the most likely scenario. And so if that's the case, and Bitcoin is sideways basically, or at least having a just like an unchanged day, then altcoins get to have a little move. So I took some altcoin positions on Tuesday, closed them yesterday. Today I'm looking for some more. And these aren't, moon mission things. These are just interesting setups that are hard to deny. But in the face of a potential drop, not just in Bitcoin's world, but in the broader markets, then you do have to be prepared to get it wrong. Okay, you do have to be prepared to get it wrong. So just a quick overview. Obviously, S&P still pushing up above 5,000. Nasdaq hasn't quite got back above its lost area, but the S&P has. Stocks looking still quite good. It's very tempting to want to just jump back in and go crazy because the markets are going crazy. And I tell you something, that is never a good thing to do. If a market is enticing you because you feel like you're missing out and you want to deploy enormous amounts of cash into the market, don't do it. All right. If there is a setup that looks appropriate and you feel like there's an appropriate trade with an entry point and an established exit point, that's okay. That's worth doing. Manage risk, take profit, enjoy the gains, right? That's what it's all about. If you feel like FOMO, which is literally just an emotional urge to jump into anything and anything without any plan whatsoever, there's a good chance you're going to get savagely injured by doing that. So let's have a think about Ethereum, which is going to be the main driver of altcoins, really, and let's have a look at how Ethereum's coping with its slow and steady wins the race type vibe. If this computer will finally just load everything through for me, that'd be good. I'll be back home later on this evening as well, so anyone who wants to join the Patreon live streams, I will be doing it on my computer. So back to the real world, back to the DDR4 RAM rather than whatever this Lenovo is coping with. I think spider webs and false promises really is what this is running on. Right, I don't want to look at Zcash, even though that is the trade of the day. I just want to look at Ethereum to get an idea of what's actually going on. This is ridiculous. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Right, I'm just going to pause this. I've never had to do this before. Can you actually pause this? You probably can, but I don't even know how to do that. You can understand that YouTubers, there's a reason that it never grows, right? I appreciate that now. Right, so Ethereum, 4 hourly, moving on, and on. The 10 exponential catching it, the 7 simple now catching it. It does look like it wants to make another attempt to go back up to 2,800, which is a support stroke resistance area as well. We've had that on the chart for months now, and what we're seeing is bearish divergence pretty much consistently, similar to that of Bitcoin bearish divergence on the 4 hourly. So it can move back down, but I believe each dip is worthy of a buy here. Don't think that this is ready to collapse. I think the markets are still offering opportunity to buy. The first area, given this 4 hourly right now, is sitting around 2,750. That's fine. Let's take it to a weekly because I just want to have a look to see how hot Ethereum is in comparison to Bitcoin. Because if we're going to have an extension on altcoin rallies, Ethereum is going to need to help us with that. So looking at Ethereum, we did peak on Money Flow Index at 85, 88, which is not a big deal. It's a completely different read to that of Bitcoin actually. Higher highs until just recently, which is our first drive of bearish divergence, and actually cancelled out all the bearish divergence on the RSI. So this makes Ethereum a bit more attractive than Bitcoin, which then in turn will make altcoins more attractive. And if we go back to what I was talking about in November, December, which is a potential alt season in the form of a Bitcoin consolidation, which has happened once. It happened once in 2021. Bitcoin had a significant rally. It did 300% rally. And when it finished that, it consolidated about 30%. And altcoins ran hard. It was a different setup, but that was the behavior that we saw for about a month. And we might be able to see something like that again. It was unlikely to be the thing that actually took place. I think we worked out there was like a 30% chance that that would happen. But again, 30% is not a 0%, and it does look like that might be a scenario. Now, I don't think we're going to see 2021 style altcoin gains, but that kind of behavior is becoming more apparent that we will get that. So Bitcoin can go sideways or even sideways and down while altcoins move up. Now, this sort of behavior is useful in a way, because if we're going to get this kind of behavior, the way that we would trade it would be to focus on Bitcoin, look at Bitcoin support and resistance. Every time there's a pullback generated, given to us by Bitcoin, we take the plunge on altcoins, assuming that altcoins will bounce harder and give more back. So if that is the case, we're currently sitting at that 51,800, which is like the major area. And if we do get a rejection from here, it's not too much of a big deal, because it should really kind of be expected. This sort of blue line here represents what I would consider to be a potential top on Bitcoin, and the support being this 10 exponential on the daily being a significant one, around 49,250. Now, if we pull back to this area, obviously that might feel and look devastating for the market, but it was actually a buy the dip kind of area. And if we continue to go down, 46,600 would be also an amazing buy the dip area for altcoins as well, probably more so for altcoins. But these are trades. These aren't get into the market, live the dream till you've done 100x. The consolidation across all markets is still coming. My overall plan and expectations of the market have not changed at all. But the trader in me wants to trade, right? And if there's opportunity to trade, I will trade. Doesn't mean I'm going to be trading with 100% of my capital, but there is opportunity in this market, and it's becoming more evident as the days unfold. But there is also huge risk. So, in order to trade the market, I would deter you from FOMOing. I would try and encourage you to try and make a plan as to what altcoin it is that you want to buy, where you want to buy it from, where you're going to sell it from, and how much of your capital you're going to deploy. Because this, in my opinion, does look like we are going to get continuation on altcoins right now. So you could call it an alt season, or you could call it the alt season 3.0, because we had the 1.0 in October, we had the 2.0 in November, December. This would be the 3.0, which would be the blow off top, really, if that's what's going to happen. And it's not the peak in the overall market. Every year there's normally an alt season of some description, and they blow their tops off and then they retrace dramatically. So we don't want to get in at the top of an altcoin season before they consolidate dramatically. That's not what we want to do. You want to take, you want to scalp the price, right? You want to get some profit out of this. You don't want to lose, right? So I do have to say over and over and over again, my overall plan has completely not changed whatsoever. There is a consolidation due in this market, as there is in all markets. But until then, there is opportunity on a daily basis, I would say. So yeah, that's what I would be looking for. Unless you have the time and the patience, the opportunity and the skill and the risk management to trade each individual altcoin successfully, I would wait for a Bitcoin dip and then buy on the dip. and the dip, a significant one for Bitcoin, would be down to 49,250. That's where it is right now. If you take it to the 4-hourly, you'll get higher entry points because obviously it's a trending move, and you could try and buy into those dips. And if whether you decided to buy the Bitcoin dip itself or the altcoin dip, it's up to you. The first area, realistically, is now. There is an opportunity as we speak. This is a support, also is a resistance, and we're sitting on it right now. The next one below was going to be 51,000 flat, and below that is 49,000 again. So there's opportunity in all of these areas. Which altcoin it is that you choose to buy on that dip, if any at all, because remember, my overall plan has not changed. It's exactly the same. I expect a consolidation to kick in and it lasts for months, and we don't want to be buying the top. You absolutely do not want to be buying the top before that, because the biggest opportunities will be later on down the line, later on this year, after the summer. Trust me, that is a big opportunity. But right now, there is also opportunities for those who have the, how to say it without sounding like a patronizing douche, but if you have attention to detail, risk management, and a clear plan of entries and exit points, then yes, there's opportunities right this very second, right now. In altcoins, absolutely. But honestly, I can't stress enough, if you don't have those things, you will likely mess it all up, and you will shoot yourself in the foot, and you won't be able to continue with this bull market as well as you would if you had the patience, the time, and the plan to buy back at a much lower area later on this year. But like I say, there is opportunity right now. That is true, and I am going to take advantage of it as and when. These trades that I'll be entering are going to be, as little as a few hours to maybe as much as a few days before I exit. They are not moon missions. These are trades. The moon missions are all part of the hodl bags that I picked up, back, I suppose, when shortly after FTX, went kaput. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it with you there. There is a live stream tonight. It probably will be a good one to tune into, because most of the time we just look at lots of different altcoins. It's undeniable that altcoins are showing not just strength but clear setups, and they could be at the beginning of a decent run across the board, and it would be useful to look at as many of them as possible, and that's what we will be doing tonight. But otherwise, I just hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.